Hi, Muchísimo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video if you found it helpful and you believe it will be helpful to someone else. I'd appreciate that. I don't have my mics. They're in the car. Just doing it through the phone mic. I'm going to try to speak clearly because in times when I don't use the mics, I have noticed that the volume is very low, and I do apologize for times past and any other times that I either have my mic off and neglect to turn it on. So let's talk about getting sick around the narcissist. My last video, I'm sure you guys recognize the sniffling and whatnot. Something's tried to get a hold of me and it won't let me go, but I'm dosing up, doing a little bit of NyQuil with some honey in it, and alternating between that and Alka-Seltzer plus cold and flu, which are the only two things I generally take. I used to do a lot of Theraflu, but I tend to stick to one medication or two, and I alternate between the two. So this is a common thing. The weather is changing. It's hot, cold, and so that's normal. So getting sick around the narcissist, though, I thought about that. I made a video about this before, maybe a year or so ago, maybe longer. You don't want to get sick around these people, man, or these entities. You don't want to get sick. And when I say you don't want to, nobody wants to get sick. You get my point. You don't want to risk being ill around these people. Say you're with a narcissist and the relationship is it's already gone down the tubes. And like I said before, shortly after you meet them, the relationship goes left. It's already went left. You just the last to find out. So there's tension to some degree. What they do is when the relationship wax cold with them, not you, when it should have grown, in your eyes, it's supposed to be at a stage where it's growing and you guys are getting to know each other's flaws, setbacks, strengths, whatever, and you're culminating that together to make a whole unit to be one. But with the narcissist, not so much so. This relationship, when it gets to this point and is off the rails, it will be this robotic behavior from not only them but you, to the point where you go to work, you'll come home, you do what's necessary to make ends meet and make the house a home, notwithstanding communication with them, because at this point there is no real communication going. If they do reach out and communicate to you, and this is not post awakening, this is before you knew what you were living with, they will give the illusion like kiss and make up with a conversation of how was your day, and before you know it, you're hoodwinked thinking, man, she's concerned about me, he's concerned about my day. And what this does, it opens up you to share, because being an empath, you don't harbor grudges and ill feelings against people long. And so this is an opportunity. You're thinking, man, obviously we need to push that on the rug or let bygones be bygones. They're asking about my day, so I'm going to go ahead and reciprocate. Oh, it was nice. How was yours? So you find yourself starting out this long-winded conversation with them when they're just giving you one-word replies like, it was good. And so you're doing most of the talking. You're putting in most of the energy. In relationship with narcissists, you're putting in most, if not all, the energy in any given moment. So that being that case, you are conditioned. You're being conditioned to accept the breadcrumbs, the bare minimum. I'll give you my time when I feel like it. And I don't want your time when you think you should give it to me. I can put up the stay away, get back. And so this is why they do the silent treatment and all that crazy stuff. And so when you by chance fall ill, say with me sniffling, just pretty much a cold, head cold or whatnot, and they will leave out the house and give you the illusion that they're concerned about you, like saying, I'm going to the store. Is there anything you want me to pick up? And you'll say, okay, yeah, just give me some Tylenol, uh, or whatever you tell them to get. And you'll say, and get me some Pedialyte or something to, to boost my immune system and to get some, get my immune system going. And so you even write it down. They'll get back 4 hours later. They want you to question where they've been, and you resist because, like I say, they've already conditioned you to stay in your place. And so you finally, in hopes that they would say, okay, I got your stuff. And at this point, you're like, let me mention it. Did you get the Tylenol? They'll be like, oh, I forgot. You want me to go back? I'll go back and get it. And you're saying, nah, don't worry about it. This is what you do as an empath. You don't want to burden people. You don't want to put on anybody over any extra obligations for you. You're always taking the back seat. You're always putting yourself last. You're always putting yourself last. And you don't do it in a way where you feel like you're put off. You're being put off. You do it organically because you do think about other people. You do consider other people's feelings. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of us empaths are so straightforward like me. We're stern. We cut it right down the middle. And so you'll have powers of darkness translating our whole movement as, okay, they think they all that. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to treat people. No, we do. We do, but we don't get off on this manufactured mindset or this manufactured mentality where we have to orchestrate what we're going to say to you. We're truth tellers. We tell the truth. We say what needs to be said. We may not have the best tact, T-A-C-T, whatever that word means. I guess it just means having the right charisma when you say certain things. And we've been conditioned through life to speak like we speak. We're being conditioned with character to behave the way we behave because we hold ourselves accountable, so we expect everybody else to be held to a certain standard as well. So this is how we get mislabeled a lot. So back to the medicine, they say, well, you want me to go back? And you say, no, don't worry about it. I'll get some later. And so you just lick your wounds and you go on and deal with whatever it is you got to deal with. And in my case, the video I made some time ago, I was almost deathly ill. I don't know how ill I was looking back at it. But all I know is I was bedridden. I didn't want any lights on. I think I had a fever, chills, everything. And I was in the bed, and who knows, this person might have laced my food. I'm just here to tell you guys, this is another reason why you don't want to be in the same household with these people once you've discovered that they are narcissists. They will put stuff in your food. They will put something in your drink. I mean, mind you, I don't want this to trigger you guys, but I do want it to enlighten you and open your eyes to the harsh realities that these people will go to extreme lengths to keep you bound to them, to keep you silent, and to basically control you. They'll deem you crazy when you're making sense. And so when I got deathly ill, man, she had asked me that same scenario I gave you. This was true life. She asked me, I'm going out to do a Walmart pickup. Do you want anything? And I said, well, yeah, bring me something. And I had said whatever it was I said. And like I said, hours later, I believe it was a couple hours later, at least two. And Walmart's only like 10-minute drive. 2 hours later, pickup. I mean, come on, really? But I'm not focused on that. In my mind, I believe it was a long time. All I want to do is get better. All of a sudden, time goes on. When I hear him come back in the house, I don't hear anything remotely that sounds like her bringing the stuff or even saying she has the stuff. And so when she came in the room, I never even looked up. I'm coddled in the fetal position, and I asked her. I say, "Did you bring the stuff?" Sorry, guys, I got a glove on. That's what that was. So I said, "Did you bring the stuff?" She's like, "Oh, I forgot. You want me to go back?" No enthusiasm whatsoever. It was so mimicked. It was so robotic until I just said, "No, I'm okay." By the grace of God, I was able to come out of that stump I was in, because uh, these people will leave you for dead. They will not intervene on your behalf. And you may look back, and some of you guys may say, "Well, you know what? The narcissists I was with, they were there for me when I had my parents. I lost my parents. They were there." I'm trying to show you guys, man, this is an opportunity. These people are opportunists. This doesn't look like a normal person that would be there for you in your time of need. If you really think, do some critical thinking. Don't just look at that surface stuff, man, of what they did and how they were there for you when you needed them. You could have done better by yourself grieving than you could have with that narcissist, because they capitalized on your grief. They capitalized on you being at your very lowest. That's what they do. You just have not brought yourself to the conclusion and the reality of realizing that. And as much as you want to believe that, I understand it. But that's not the reality. The reality is these people capitalized on that unfortunate situation or experience in your life. This is why you'll find them, they'll throw stuff up in your face that you've shared with them in confidence when you first meet them. When they're beginning to discredit you and devalue and to ultimately discard you, this is when you'll see that the gloves come off. They'll say some things that you would never even imagine bringing up, because they store this stuff in their head. This is how they move. So next time you see a relationship where a guy and girl, whatever the situation is, and they're going through trauma and it's toxic and it's just a repetitive round and round merry-go-round of the same thing, repetitive, always having the police over there, it's always the same thing, always the bickering, the police can't even calm them down. And so when you see this kind of stuff, man, don't even come on your front porch. Shut your mini blinds, turn the TV up or the radio, just drown that stuff out, man. And the reason why I say this, because what it does, not only does it draw you into their rodeo of theatrics, it causes you to be distracted from your life and your purpose. And here you are, you got this stuff up in your head. You go to work, you're in the break room, you're normally not a gossiper, and the person looks in your face and they can tell something is, you're detached in some way, and they say, "What's going on?" "Oh, nothing." "Oh, the neighbors again, they were bickering." You see what happens? They've given you this energy and transferred it into you. Now you're taking it to work. And guess what? You inevitably, more than likely, end up sharing this with a narcissist, unbeknownst to you. Narcissists can read empaths just like empaths can read them. But one thing about it is, when you're awakened as an empath, a chosen one, it's a whole different ball game. They can read you, but they misread you. You understand what I just said? They can read you. They know that you're strong. They know that you're somewhat awake. They don't know how you're awake. They don't know to what degree you're awake. They may even know that you're in tune to some degree. But it's confusing to them at this point, because you're not predictable like you were before. You're not like a deer in the headlight. You've awakened your consciousness. You're paying attention to things. You're looking at them with an eye contact that looks different than it did before you awakened. And so that's what I want to talk about in this video. I wanted to tell you, don't get ill around the narcissist, and if you do, don't reach out to them for help, to go get you some medicine, to call 911. I don't know. Just hopefully you never get put in that situation. You're better off calling that ex that you probably would rather not call, especially if you determine that they were not a narcissist. It just didn't work out between you and them. You can call a total stranger and be better off. You can call your neighbor who you never said a word to 4 blocks down the street. You just waved at him every now and again. Call him. Call Ghostbusters. You better off than dealing with the narcissism, relying on them when you're sick. That being said, bless.